War Machine / Iron Patriot himself is official. So we recently learned that Don Cheadle is officially wrapped with the MCU. At least for his original contract. We don't know if he has a new one, but as of right now, from what we understand, Avengers Endgame was the last time we were gonna see that character. Let's talk about the past and the future. So when it came to Don Cheadle taking over as War Machine, we know over the last year or so, we really found out more details about what it involved. And we know that he was like, well, they offered me it in like a 2-hour time window, and it was like 10 to 12 years of my career. And there was multiple film roles, you know, like appearances and cameos. And along with that, there was also a standalone film, which hasn't happened, but his role in Iron Man 3 was extended, probably to compensate, and he got more money for it. So when it comes to the future of War Machine, as it turns out, as we recently found out, his contract is up with Avengers Endgame. Now, of course, this isn't really surprising considering many contracts in the MCU were up with Avengers Endgame. You know, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth. Again, this was kind of a actual endgame point for the MCU for many of these characters. Now, Don Cheadle, you know, he's teased that there's potentially a future for War Machine in the MCU. And it's certainly been teased that the character could stay around and will make appearances down the road. And again, I think he's and no disrespect to him, he's absolutely one of my favorite actors ever since the first time I saw him in Hotel Rwanda, I want to say. Absolutely love his acting chops and everything. You know, huge fan of War Machine. He's not as expensive as Robert Downey Jr., not as valuable. So if they want to bring him back as War Machine for like another 10 films in another decade, I'm pretty sure he would jump right on that and they could further use the character, right? And again, it's a role that's largely CG now. Like, he doesn't have to wear the armor all the time. So again, you know, it's easy to do it. It's easy to pull off, and it keeps an Iron Man style character in the MCU, somebody that has a connection to Tony, and we can see how it affects him, and what does he do now since Tony can't fix the armors anymore, right? It gives him an interesting outlook onto the MCU. It's like, oh, if his armor gets damaged, does he have to self-repair it? I mean, he's obviously not as smart as Tony. Not many people were, so how does he handle it now? I think there's a lot to explore, and hopefully, you know, his character's arc isn't over, because I would hate if he just sort of disappeared into nothing. It's like, look, yeah, I get it. His contract ended with Endgame, but come on, the character's still alive and kicking, and I'm presuming still working for the military, so let's explore that.